Hi, I'm Rami Atassi, and this is Guitar Tactics. So today we're going to take a look at the concept of three-note chord voicings for a basic G major chord. So the idea here is that we're going to learn to play a G major chord with just three notes in four different positions on the neck. So let's just start by taking a look at these shapes. You know, if you're used to playing G major, you've probably encountered this open position G chord, so like this. Or maybe, you know, you'll have an open B in there instead of a D on the third fret of the B string. There it is. Okay, so that's one way to play a G major, but today what we want to do is we want to look at a way to sort of simplify it and give us like block shapes that we can move up and down the neck. And so I'm going to start by playing these four block shapes for you and then walk through them and show you a few things you can do to kind of connect these shapes. So the first is like this. I use this shape a lot. And the next one like this. Okay, and then the third one, you go up here you put your third finger on the 9th fret of the D string. That's a B, and that's like this. And then the fourth shape, you stay in this area of the guitar, but you move up the strings. That's like this. So all together what we have is okay, I really like these three-note voicings because what they do is, you know, each major chord is just a triad, so it's really only three notes. So a G is G, B, and D. So often we'll play these open position chords with a lot of, you know, different notes, a lot of strings, 6 strings. And we'll hear, oh, that's a G, but what we don't learn to hear when we're first starting is what is the voicing of the chord? What is the order of the notes in the chord? And it's really hard to pick out the order of the notes in a 6-note chord like this, where, you know, we have a G down low, we have a G in the middle on the open string there, here's a B, here's a B, here's a D, here's a D, you know, so it's just hard to hear how the notes are ordered. And the order of the notes, also called the chord voicing, right, is really integral to how the chord sounds. So these three-note voicings simplify and let us hear the order of the chords, of the notes. And so we'd call those the voicings or maybe the inversions. You might call them inversions as well. So let's talk a little bit about how these three-note voicings are working. So the first shape, the order of the notes is D, G, B. So D is the 5th of the chord and it's in the bass. So if we were playing classical music, we'd call this the first inversion. Excuse me, the second inversion. The first inversion would be putting a B in the bass. So this would be the second inversion. But we're not going to really use that terminology here. And so then the next shape, the order of the notes is G, B, D. That's just root position, right? And so then the next shape, the order of the notes is B, D, G. Now that's first position, or first inversion with a B in the bass. And then the last voicing here is actually the same as the first voicing. D, G, B. Moved an octave up. D, G, B. Okay? And so what we can do here is if, let's say a bass player is you're just vamping over a G, right? Just G major. And you wonder what to do, you know? How do you play chords? Do you just sit there and go like this all day? Right? But let's say you have a bass line going. You see how we can move those shapes up and down the neck? And in doing so, we're actually playing the notes of the chord in order. So we're really hearing the top voice. So here, we're hearing that high B, and then we're hearing the high D, and then the high G, and then the high B again, right? And so it's like we're playing a melody, but we're doing it with chords. And so in that way, you can use these major chord shapes to create motion over a static bass line, over a static chord. So, to recap, you want to try to practice the chords that you're playing in 3-note voicings. You want to start becoming familiar with the concept of inversions and chord voicings. And you want to do that by going with some simple 3-note voicings and trying to memorize or just say to yourself the order of the notes in the chord. So if you have any questions, as always, just leave me a note in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and good luck with your practicing.